Uh, Welcome to Just a Runner's podcast. Uh, just so you know, this is always brought to you by Macintosh Run Coaching. And today I'm bringing back a favorite, at least among me, Patrick Leber, who's the author of Why Run When You Can Drive. We're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about why he's running the Columbus Marathon this year. And what's your why there? That's
Yeah.
our basic premise to get us started. And how are you today?
Hi, Bruce. I'm doing great. Yeah. Thank you. I love the premise too. I love the theme of today's talk. So it's near and dear to my heart. So looking forward to chatting with you. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you. And you become a regular on the podcast with our book club episodes. I've been following along, and this is the first time you've run a marathon in how long?
Yeah, it's I still laugh about it because I can't believe I've taken this long of a break. I've run 3 marathons in my life. Let's back up. I'm in my 46th year of running. I've only run 3 marathons, so a lot of people are surprised by that, but I've never stopped. The 3 marathons I ran were in 1989, 1990, and the last one I ran was the 1991 Marine Corps Marathon. So it was 35 years ago that I last ran a full marathon. A little bit of the backstory as to why I stopped doing that. I convinced myself incorrectly, by the way, that I wasn't made for the marathon distance. I ran my first marathon with my fastest time, and then I slowed down, and I slowed down even more after that. And the reason I convinced myself that, oh, my body must not be made for the marathon, was I was getting worse and not getting better. But unbeknownst to us back in the late 80s, early 90s, we've learned a lot about running and a lot about hydration and a lot about nutrition. And, about the only thing I did back then was I'd eat a pasta dinner the night before. That's really the only thing that I remember training for. So I joke that I incorrectly diagnosed that this body wasn't made for marathons because I was actually slowing down. But little did I know that the technology changes and the hydration and the fueling changes that would come in the future, um, I think are huge transformational steps to help people achieve the marathon distance and their goals. So yeah, to answer your question, it's been 35 years, and I'm going to run the Columbus full marathon this October.
Yeah, that's a quite a long break to get to number 4. I'm probably convinced myself I'm body's not uh like you said, your body's not for marathons when I've been too stubborn to admit it, I think. But I do plan to do another one. I thought about trying to do one at Columbus, but I think I've changed my mind and will be participating in the half. Coming back from this injury has been I've been struggling to get back, and so
Yeah,
I think I can get up to the half to finish it.
good,
You
good. Doesn't matter how far we go. It's just that we keep moving. It
so
really is true. So good for you.
after 35 years, what changed your mind? What made you decide to take on the marathon again?
Yeah, that's a great question. So um, I've run the half many years in a row, probably 5 years in a row, I think, and I also fundraise for the Nationwide Children's Hospital. Um, and annually, what they do before the actual marathon in October, 1 month before that, they have what do they call it? A character breakfast for the children. So it reminds me of the breakfast that you see down in Disney, but they hold a character breakfast for the children, the 24 children champions, I should say. Um, they're called mile champions, if you will. And if you've run the course, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because they're the ones located at those tents that are every mile on the course. And so I um, I go to this breakfast as a fundraiser. They actually invite the fundraisers too, and I go to this breakfast, and it's a wonderful event. You can see how much fun the kids have at the breakfast, and I came up with an idea. I pitched it to the hospital people, and they loved it. And what I'm doing is I asked if I could have a table at the breakfast again, which is a month beforehand, and I'm going to bring my shoes that I'm going to run the marathon in, and I'm going to empower and uh, build up the confidence of the kids, their self confidence, by asking them for their autographs on my shoes, those 24 children champions. Um, and even if they put their initials or just want to draw whatever they can draw on the shoes, I want them to go for it. And so they're going to decorate my shoes. And I have a good family friend who's also an outstanding graphic designer down in Columbus. And her name is Carly Mitchell. And Carly is going to design custom friendship rocks. So after the children sign my shoes, they're going to get to pick from a customized friendship rock that I'm going to have on the table. And the hospital loved the idea. I'm so touched that they love the idea. So um, my reason for wanting to run the full marathon is that I think it would be a shame if I did this and only went to half the children that are on the course in their tents and the families. Because what I'm going to do now is on race day, I'm going to stop by each of those tents and remind them who I am and show them the shoes again. Maybe we'll get a group picture, family picture, whatever. So my why for running the marathon is strictly that. I'm going to run a mile and then stop and say hello to the families again, just like I did a month before when I got to meet them at the breakfast. So that's my why. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, that should be a great event. I'll be happy to share on the podcast your donation code. Send me that later. Uh,
Okay. Thank you.
so, how is your fundraising going anyway? I mean, obviously,
It's good. Yeah, I started pretty early. You know, you can sign up for the Columbus Marathon or the half on January 1st, and I always stay up for New Year's Eve. And all I do is I sign up because I so much look forward to it. So I actually start fundraising right at the beginning of the year. I utilize a number of different tools, if you will. I have a wonderful friend and family base that helps support my squares games. I do a squares game for the Super Bowl. I did a March Madness tournament for fundraising, and everything else is pretty much just sharing the stories of why I do it. There's another sidebar story that recently made the nationwide hospital magazine, which was very touching because I didn't expect that to happen. But um, my daughter had to have surgery when she was 10 days old, and it wasn't at Nationwide Children's Hospital. This was in Virginia. But the reason that I fundraise every year is primarily because of that. I remember as a parent of a newborn child, and they had to have surgery 10 days into their life. It was crushing to both me and my wife. Um, and somehow we got through it. Um, and it probably made us both a lot stronger. But the tagline that I use for fundraising is tied to that event because I tell people that, I hope if you ever had a child in a children's hospital, hopefully they were too young to remember, but I know you will never forget. And so I live by that. It's a catchphrase that I came up with, and I truly it inspires me. It just inspires me to fundraise every year. That issue right there. So So it's going well. I'm happy with where I'm at right now, and like I said, I have the best family and friends that have been so generous in donating to the fundraising effort. Um, so thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that, and I'll continue to do it. In fact, if I have to walk the course someday, even if I just walk the half, I could still see myself fundraising long into the future here. So it just is it's a big part of my heart.
How many years have you been fundraising for them?
I think this is only the fifth or sixth year um, that I've done the Columbus race. So it's 5 or 6 years. I lose track. I've lost track. Each year I do something different. I like to do something different for the children. One year at the breakfast a couple years ago, they it's kind of cool at the breakfast because as a runner you get to sit with the families, and so I sat with a family, and the young lady whose name was Lily, she was a 6-year old little girl. Lily and I and her family came up with an idea that when I come by, we'll have a catchphrase so that she'll know who I am, right? When you go by their tent on race day, because we all get dressed up in our sunglasses and our hats, and we don't look like we do when we go to breakfasts. so so we had a catchphrase, and the catchphrase that Lily came up with was Bluey, the cartoon character Bluey, which happened to be one of the characters at this character breakfast. And so what I did on race day was they were at mile 9, and their tent is somewhere in the ninth mile of the race. And what I did was I actually had a foot belt, and I picked up a little Bluey doll, and I wrapped it in a bag, and I put it in my foot belt. And then I couldn't wait to get to mile 9, and I presented Lily with a Bluey doll. So, every year I try to do something a little bit different. If it's not for all the children, it's for somebody special. And uh, this year, like I said, I'm doing it for all of them, and that's why I'm running the full marathon.
That's great. Just that you give so much back and you're doing all that. The other question
It's
I was, how's your training going to get you there? You still, even though you're not going for a PR or any set time, 26 miles is still a big,
Yep,
it's not a half. It's a different beast than a half. So
yeah, it is. And what I'm doing is actually going to be a challenge. I We have a coach in our running club here, and so his name's Rick. And I asked Rick about it, and he said, if I were you, he said, when you have your 18 or your 20 miler, I want you to go out and run a mile and then stop and stand around for 30 seconds to a minute, and then run another mile and stop and stand around and maybe kibitz around, right? Don't sit down because I probably won't sit down. But he said, you don't really know how your body's going to react unless you train that way. So I'm going to do that on one of my long
yeah,
runs. I'm going to go a mile and I'm going to stop and just relax for 30 seconds to a minute, because that's probably how long I'll stop at each of the tents, and then keep going and see how my body does on one of those long runs, because it sounds easy, but even Rick said you might be surprised at how tight your body starts to become after going through 16 or 18 of those stops.
yeah,
So
um, you should do some training how you're going to run the race. So it does make a lot of sense to do that for your long runs. Uh,
yeah, and this is week 2 of my training. I put together an 18-week training cycle based on my previous half marathon training cycles, but I know I have to increase my mileage and have more time on my feet. So I get that. But yeah, this is week 2, and today's long run was 9 miles. I felt great. I've been running through the winter, and my long run usually on Saturday has been 8 to 10 miles. So I'm just starting to ramp it up, and but it'll be interesting that day I do 18 or 20 and I run a mile and stop. um, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a good idea that I try that. And then one of my long runs too, I'll just try and do it, the entire way, whether that's the 18 or the 20 miles.
You could alternate. One week you go just run normal, and the next week you do the mile stops.
Yeah,
Uh, I I would say try to do that a couple times throughout your
that's
training.
good. Yeah, yeah, I'll try that. I will.
Do
So,
get those long runs in to make sure you're ready. You don't wanna be out there dying when you're trying to stop and that with
right. Yeah, I'd hate to make it to the 20 miles and hit the wall. And but I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some run walking involved, and maybe not. But that's not my goal. The only goal that I have is to stop at 24 tenths. There's 24 children within the 26 miles. One of the miles is dedicated to the children that have passed away. Um, I think it's called the Angel Mile, and then there's another mile. Oh, I should know. There's another mile. I can't remember what the theme is, but they don't have a child specifically at that mile. But yeah, so there'll be 24 tents, and my only goal is to be able to stop at all of them. And whether I run or walk between each of the tents doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's just about celebrating the event, and it's experiencing the event. It has nothing to do with time. Um, so I'm looking forward to it. I really am excited. I'm pumped. I'm not nervous at all. I know I'll be able to do it. But I just I I'm so excited. I can't wait for the day.
and if anybody's interested, you can go to the Columbus Marathon webpage, and you can see all the different champions and all the different fundraising options and everything on there. Uh, I'm also trying to fundraise. I think do you have a goal for your fundraising?
Yeah, I put a $3,000 goal on there, and I think I'm at 1,700 right now, Bruce. Um, so, and I think I donated to your cause too.
What you're more than
So
halfway. I've been meaning to get on
yeah,
there to donate for you. Um, I'm not having as much luck as you. You're doing much better. I need to get on the ball and get some donations. I've tried a few times to share it. But I'll get there. Uh, I didn't go
yeah,
as high as you on my goal. I think I put five. They had 500 as I just left it at that. So I'm hoping to do it. I don't have as much history or personal reasons like you do. I just think it's a wonderful thing they're doing for those kids and raise money for the children's hospital. And I thought it'd give me that little extra motivation to keep going because I was supposed to be in Columbus last year doing the half, get hurt like 9, 10 days. The week before on the Wednesday, I tripped. I caught my foot on a thing and tore my hamstring. I'm sure most of the people that listen to this radio, I'm pretty sure I told everybody. And I could not, I just had to cancel Columbus altogether. I don't even know if I could have taken the ride down. I, I had trouble sitting in a car for any length,
yeah,
but for the first few weeks. So, like I said, it was a week and a half after I got hurt. So I ended up dropping out, and I've spent months not being able to do anything. I'm finally back to doing a run walk, building up to 50 minutes. My goals between now and throughout my training, I was in 2 weekends before. I want to get up to about 2 hours 15, 2 hours 20 minutes. I'm just trying to slowly build it up. Even if I'm doing a run walk the whole way, I'm good with
sure.
that.
Yep,
My goal
time
is
on your
just to get
feet.
there and finish.
Yeah, no, it's good. Hey, your motivation for getting there and fundraising, if you ask me, it's your redemption tour.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you
I,
wanted to do it last year and then something abruptly came up, so here you are going back, and so it's the redemption tour, fundraising event for the children's hospital.
um, 'cause I even went back. I've been go back to physical therapy. I had that for a while and just trying to get it back because the surprising part is I've been dealing more with shin splints than hamstring pain. I was expecting to have more hamstrings and all that. It's just the lower legs compensating. so,
Yeah,
so
wow.
And
Well,
but
you're a coach, so you can probably you know the right thing to do, right?
I hope so. It's sometimes motivating myself is harder than motivating other people.
That's probably true of a lot of us, you know?
Yeah. So
So,
I'm like I said, I think I made myself a plan. I'm not even trying to right now I'm trying to limit myself to 3 days a week running and then get out. Trying to get out on the bike once or twice a week and try to do some strength training or something on the other days, or even need to get out and at least go for a walk for like half hour on those other days. But sometimes I was doing extra hours at work and just too tired. So hopefully I'll just stick to this plan and hopefully I'll be able to get myself back to normal
yeah,
this
good. Do you
year.
do any strength training, Bruce?
Little bit. I need to start doing a little more. I'm supposed to be doing, and then that's one of those things that I'm lacking the motivation to do, even when I know I need to do it. So
Yeah, I think that'd probably help you. I think it helps me tremendously. So my typical schedule is I run on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday religiously. I've been doing that routine probably for 20 to 25 years. And then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do strength training. And do I miss a day? Sure. It's, you know, if I miss a run, it's not a big deal. If I miss a strength training day, it's not a big deal. But I actually have a schedule where I work out 7 days a week. Um, and if it ends up being 6 or 5 days that week, I don't sweat over it. I'm getting so old now that um, it used to bother me, you know, but there comes a point in time when you start to reflect on your running and you ask yourself, what are you running for? You know, what's the real reason that you're running? And I'm running for the health of it, just for the fun of it. And I've been blessed and lucky to be able to run this long and still can maintain a pretty good pace for my age. But I'm not competitive anymore. I don't, I don't find myself being competitive at all anymore.
I think sometimes as you get older, I know there are some people older than us that are still competitive, but I think sometimes your your think on things and your competitiveness and maybe your reason for running changes over time. I think it has for me a few times. Uh, right now, I think that can help you get through it. If you have a reason to be out there, whether it's well, to help the show, something like that sometimes can help motivate you in those tough days.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yep. I
but
agree.
I am like you. I think if I do something, it doesn't have to be running 7 days a week. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but I need to be doing something strength. Get a little more serious with my strength training. I've been doing something almost every day for strength training. And I because of the calf and hamstring and the shin splints, I'm stretching a lot more than I was
Are
just
you
to
good?
hold that off.
Yeah. Yeah, I add in yoga too on those strength training days. I do yoga. No, the order of it is I do strength training, yoga, and meditation on my one Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So, and it helps, Bruce, also being retired.
Yeah.
You know, there's people probably listening going, how's he do all this? Well, I'm so fortunate that I'm retired now and I saw somebody on Strava recently. They listed their, in their bio, it said athlete. And I love that. You know, in some respects, even though I was a business professional my entire career, I'm so tempted to put on my Strava athlete because that's what I do. I spend hours doing this and I just enjoy it. Um, I never thought I would spend this much time doing it. I didn't think I'd be able to run this far, this long either. So,
Yeah. It's I'm glad I'm able to keep running. I don't plan on ever giving it up totally. Uh, I'm I'm willing to make adjustments, and as I age, I guess we all have to. Um,
yeah.
I think
You know, another thing we can look forward to as we age, my wife brought this up, and she was exactly right. You know, I still love volunteering and cheering at races. So I think when the day comes that I can't hit the pavement anymore, I see myself just volunteering at races, right? It's still, I get the rush of being there and contributing that way. So I see myself, even when the day comes when we can't move these joints anymore, of just volunteering
I
and
just
making sure you're a spectator at these races.
just volunteered at one. I volunteered at a few this year. I regularly there's a few I like to I think I got in the habit of instead of running a few of these local ones, I giving back and doing water stops and stuff like that because we did
Yeah.
one the local triathlon, sprint triathlon. I know enough people running it. We had a group, Amy, well, you know Amy
Hmm.
Rossler,
Right.
Johnson from the but they asked her to if she could get a group together. She got asked, and then naturally she brought me into it some reason.
Oh, that's
And
good.
so I went, helped out there. That's our second year in a row at the Davis Family YMCA Sprint Triathlon, and
Nice.
we have a fun time out there putting it on.
Yeah, isn't it? It's so much fun to spectate. If you're a runner and you haven't done this yet, you really should volunteer once. I think you'll get more out of it than you think. Um,
I really think every runner, if you run a lot of races, you should volunteer at least once or twice a year. Just
yeah,
look at it.
I agree.
So it makes you appreciate the people out there too. And like I said, actually, the triathlon's the perfect one for me to volunteer at because I know I'm not a swimmer, so I'm never going to do a triathlon. I do some biking and stuff, and but
Yep. I'm lucky enough that our son lives on the course of the Flying Pig down in Cincinnati. So I think I've shared this story on your pod before, but I go down every year and I run on Saturday the 5K or 10K or both, and then on Sunday, um, he lives right on the course, and so I go down there with a couple of coolers and I fill them up. I go to the local grocery store and I fill them up with the 4 ounce bottles of water, and I I got an electronic megaphone, and I'm out there calling people's names based on their bibs and commenting about their shirts and just having a lot of fun with the crowd. And but I also shout out to the crowd and I say, "Do you need if you need a water, signal me because I'm in my running gear. I will run it to you." So what I do is this past May, I think I had 144 little bottles of water that I bought from the grocery store and had them on ice. And people will put their arms up, and I'll say, "I'll run to you. Don't run to me. I'll run to you." And I run, 100 yards with them, and I give them a bottle of water. So they love it. They appreciate it, and we have a lot of fun conversations about it between me and those runners. So um, yeah, I agree. Everybody should volunteer. And this is an unorganized one. This is just something I do. I don't do this through the Flying Pig community. I just do it because my son lives at the 10.5 mile mark of the marathon course, and people. Boy, the back of the Packers at that point, or some of them are really struggling at that point. So I know they're grateful that I had water for them. So
the there's a certain point where the whole attitude of the people coming through and the fun people, see the seriousness. It's not that
yeah,
they're not as serious. I don't feel in the
right,
back, but their attitude, they're there to have. Some of them are just there to have fun, or it's a whole different pace handing them off, and you can. We did a half back in March, and my wife was there, and she cut up orange slices. I said, "You gotta wait till about half the people get through. After we
yeah,
get to those ones in the back are gonna stop and take the orange slices. The ones up front, you're lucky if they grab water because some of them were flying through, and it was like I just, like, held the water cup of
right,
water out of my hand and hoped some of them, the ones that wanted it were able to grab it. I know I've seen some fast guys go through, and you just
yeah.
gotta then you get to
I,
the
I appreciate if they just nod at you, right? If you say, "Hey, good job," and they nod at you, the front of the
yeah.
Packers. So, but you're right. In fact, I had my son and his girlfriend there, and they were trying to hand out waters to the front runners. I'm like, you know what? These people are cruising. They're flying. They've got people on the course set up for exactly when they're going to hydrate and exactly when they're going to fuel. So they probably don't need our waters. But yeah, you're exactly right. It's the middle of the Packers that and the back of the packs people that really really appreciate it. We stayed out. This is the first year I stayed out on the Flying Pig for the whole group. I saw the sweeper, the police officer. He was coming, following a walker. So we stayed at the 10.5 mile mark until the very last marathoner, official marathoner. Um, was coming through. So we had a lot of fun, and you get, those people are so grateful because there was nobody on the sidewalks at that point except me and my son and his girlfriend. So those people that are coming by at that point are really grateful that you stayed out there,
Yeah.
just to cheer and say hello to them and have water available for them. So
Yeah, I know when you're out. That's why I not a big the smaller marathons aren't for me. I have to admit I wanna go to Columbus or Cincinnati or Cleveland and run there then because especially if I'm doing a marathon, it can it can get rough out there if you're back of the pack and there's nobody around. At
yeah.
least with the bigger marathons, there's more likely to be people out there still cheering, more likely to be other runners around you. I
Hmm.
luckily in those races like Cincinnati, no matter where I was at, there was people around me. So
Yeah.
and
Good. Good.
Toledo, I've had good luck there. I've had Columbus. That's always been an enjoyable trip down, and I will be down there again. Hopefully, hopefully this year holds.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to meet you. We've only done this, over videos here. I've never met you yet, so I'm looking forward to that, Bruce.
Yes, we were. I think we were planning to last year, and then and we're not
Yeah.
even that far apart. Aren't? Where are you at? You're up near
I'm
Cleveland,
yeah, I'm in Menor. I'm on the east side, so
Well, I've been to Mentor.
I know where it's at on the map.
I was. It's been 2 years, but I didn't. I don't think I know I didn't do this year last, but that Lighthouse Marathon in Fairport Harbor,
Sure.
I've done
Yep.
that just a couple times now. Just a few years ago.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was just last weekend, I think.
it
It's
was
just
just
a
one or
week
two
ago.
weekends ago.
Yeah.
And that's an enjoyable race. I mean, it's a small half,
Mhm.
but I actually went there and enjoyed it. And
That's good. I gotta make it out to a race by you guys too. I think I told Amy and you that. So, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm gonna find something to squeeze in for my training plan
normally,
here.
I'd recommend the Peace Race because that's one of the classic races in the area. It's been around since the '70s, but this year you cannot make it. It's the same day as Columbus this year.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I've I've done the Peace Race many times, and some years, and they brought back the last couple years the 25K and stuff. It was a
Ah,
10K and a
nice.
2 miler for years. They added they got to their 50th anniversary 2 years ago when I ran the 25K, but wasn't the same day as any like at that time. So
Gotcha.
I think
Yeah,
I've run there too. I've run all three distances they have. So
that's great. That's good.
yeah, well,
What else do we want to say about Columbus? What are your, you've done Columbus before.
it
What do
is.
you think of it?
I I love the Columbus Marathon. It definitely is one of my favorite races. Uh, for I probably would pick it over almost every other fall race. Uh, I I'm sure there's other great races out there. I've done wine glass. I mean, just fall races. I've done wine glass half. Done trying to think other. I went
What about
down to Charlotte.
Chicago?
I
You
haven't
done
done
Chicago
Chicago.
yet?
No,
A lot of people like that.
a lot of people like that in New York. It's hard to compare. I think the majors like Chicago, Boston, New York. It's hard to compare a regular, like Columbus or Cleveland or Toledo to the majors. I think they're separate categories. Uh,
Yeah, maybe you're right. Indy's right around that same time. The
yeah,
Indianapolis
I've heard
Marathon.
a lot of good stuff about that. I wouldn't mind getting there one year, but it's like I think I'm kind of like I know I'm going to get back to Columbus, whether it's the half or the full.
Mhm.
One year, maybe next year I'll go and do ending and then come back to Columbus the following year. I've done Cleveland many times. I have to say, some of my favorite years were doing Toledo in the spring and Columbus in the fall. Uh, it's just a nice combination, and I get to see other parts of Ohio. But I know Darius Blackford, from talking to him several times on the podcast, and he's a great guy. and he puts on a great race, and everybody
Yeah.
involved with it is just so good at that. I really I other than my performance, where I wish they would find a way to make it all downhill for me or something. Uh, I haven't had my best races there, but part of my problem is I'm enjoying myself so much that I probably need to get off my feet more and go like sit in the hotel room. But I'm like walking to the expo, and then we walk down to dinner and here and there, and I'm not really probably not resting as much as I should the day before. So
Yeah.
you know,
I
the
I'm guilty of the same thing. One year we had a group breakfast, or I'm sorry, group dinner, and then walked the expo a couple times from the hotel room. And then I had Blue Jacket tickets that night. So I went to the hockey game. And after the first period, I said to myself, "What are you doing?" I was tired. And it was 8 o'clock at night, the night before the half marathon. I was like, I got to get off my feet. So I actually went back to the hotel and watched the rest of the hockey game on television.
well, the
Oh,
one year we went down, it was on a Friday night, and we went down early, and the hockey game was on Friday. I was like, "Oh, I wish I had been looking. I would have got tickets and went because that was
yeah.
Friday night." So that made
Yep.
then the other years we went, and it was a Saturday game match. I was like, "No, I'm not gonna go to a hockey game the night before and be up, because I'm not gonna wanna leave
Yeah. I did
and
it.
go."
Oh,
So now
oh
I'm like now I wait for the X or the schedule to come out for hockey, and I'm looking to see if the hockey games falls somewhere, hey, I could go, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna do Saturday. I'm hate to say it, yeah, I would not recommend going to a Saturday night hockey game and then running
No,
right
I
afterwards.
won't ever do that again. I'm excited too. I'm a big Blue Jackets fan, and so their preseason schedule came out, and the regular season schedule comes out at the end of June to middle July. So we're close. We're just a couple weeks away from knowing if there might be a Friday night or Saturday night home game. Saturday night, forget that. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, you raise a good point. We're going to go down on Friday this year,
If
and
it's on
so I will
Friday
be there.
night and you wanna get tickets, let me know because right
Okay.
now, I am gonna drop. I have 3 nights in the hotel because I
Okay.
didn't know what I wanted to do, but I'm probably gonna drop one of them. But I could see me going down Friday night. Originally, I said I
Okay.
was doing the full, and I was trying to make a little trip out of it. If it's
Yeah.
Sunday night, I might even go. But
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll stay in touch with you, I
but
promise about
if it's
that.
Saturday night, no. But
No.
somebody call the Blue Jackets and tell them we need a Friday night game before the
Yep.
marathon.
I remember, Darius talking about Ohio State games, we've been lucky the last couple years, they've avoided it. I mean, it's been an away game, and,
Think they
this
need
year this year it's an away game too, I'm pretty sure. I should have looked it up. I'm pretty sure it's against Indiana too, so it's a big away game.
let me
That
look.
Saturday, before the night before. They'll probably make you know what? They're gonna probably make that a primetime game, Ohio State and Indiana, and it'll start at 8 o'clock, and all the marathoners or the runners are gonna be interested in wanting to see it, and yet we're gonna wanna go to bed early.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I think it's against Indiana, if I remember looking it up, but,
let me look. I'm trying to bring up this October 17th. Does that sound right?
yeah, it's a Saturday.
Indiana, they don't they just say it's Indiana Hoosiers. They don't have a time listed.
Okay, well,
Well,
national champion Indiana Hoosiers and Ohio State. That's going to be a huge TV game. So you watch. They're going to move it to 8 o'clock.
I would not be surprised.
Yep.
Uh, that's gonna be a tough that's I know I'll watch the start of it, but I rarely make it. I know I wouldn't if it's a 8 o'clock game, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it through to the end.
I'll see the first quarter, maybe, and then that's going to be
That
it.
might be it.
And the
Unfortunately,
funny thing is that we don't sleep that well before a race, right?
no,
So it's almost like maybe we should exhaust ourselves and watch the game and just crash for 3 or 4 hours,
I might just
to
leave
get
it
up.
on, and if I fall asleep, okay. If I don't, because
Yep.
I didn't even think about that because I think Ohio State should just, like, say, "We have to have a bye week for the marathon," or something. But
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I think the last 3 years in a row, it's been an away game, and yet Darris always has this race on the 3rd Sunday in the month, I think is what it is. I think it's the 3rd Sunday every October,
Yeah,
so
they're always the same weekend. They're the same week as Detroit. I did Detroit once also,
oh, okay, alright.
and they're Detroit's another well put on race.
Is it? Yeah?
Yeah, and they have a very interesting course, at least the first half, uh, because you went over the Ambassador Bridge. That's a just uphill the whole way. Uh, go into Canada.
Great.
You have a few
Yeah.
miles in Canada, and they have an underwater mile. You go into this tunnel, you come out
Oh, that's
back.
cool.
So that part was
Yeah.
really neat and something totally different than, I mean, there's other races with bridges, but that was kind of a cool bridge to go over and get into Canada. Uh, they do watch you when you're going in there, like the people that wear back, the water bottles on their back and
Uh-huh.
whatever they're,
The
uh,
hydration vests, yeah.
hydration vests. I don't think you're allowed to take those over the bridge. You can't take them into
Oh,
Canada. They're worried could be something else.
right.
So there
Yep.
was like a pile of them going in,
Oh, it's
and
expensive.
your bib number had to be visible. They are checking to make sure everybody coming across has a bib number on, because you have to have your passport shown when you're getting your bib, or
Oh,
you're online.
okay,
There
yeah,
was something they had to check so basically your bib's acting as your passport while you're running the race.
gotcha. How was the air, the stagnant air inside that tube underneath the
It wasn't
water?
too bad. It wasn't. If uh, I don't remember it being real bad. It was
Okay.
okay. It wasn't like being out in fresh air, but it was about a mile, and just kind of neat to say, well, I ran a mile underwater. Uh,
Yeah,
you went
it
through a
is cool.
tunnel.
I've never done that. I
But
don't think I've ever done that in my 46 years. Huh.
unfortunately for a diehard Ohio State fan, Ohio Marathon, Columbus Marathon fan, they fall under the same day. So they always
Ah,
they're all, so I don't know what if, but that's the problem. There's so many good marathons. It's hard to do them all.
yeah. That's
So
why I choose to do, that's why I choose to have a 35-year break between each of them, I guess.
well, Detroit, the internet has an American half and an international half. So if you went and did the international half, you could still get the best parts of the marathon to me, from when I remember the course. And but it's the same day as Columbus, and I've been liking Columbus so much and everything.
Yeah,
But like I said, I went with a group to Detroit, and I did enjoy my trip there for that
good.
marathon.
I have family up there. I'm surprised I haven't gone up there and done it, but it might be because, like you said, it's on the same day as Columbus. I don't feel it's advertised very well. You know, Indy's advertised. New York, of course, it's a major. Chicago, a major. All these marathons advertise very well, but I hear nothing about the Detroit Marathon. Hmm.
Yeah, maybe they just know it's a lost cause, competing in this area for with,
Yeah,
but, well, my wife's brother lives, about a half hour or so outside of Detroit, so that made it nice for me, you know,
yeah.
as far as we were able to stay with him and just drive into the race.
It's always good to have somebody nearby that can help you navigate. Yep.
So other than that, I don't have a lot else going on running wise. So hopefully,
Okay.
I don't know if I'm doing. Do you do any training races to get you up for this, or do you have any other
None,
races planned?
none that, yeah, none that like are part of the training plan. We've got the Johnny Cake Jog coming up here. It's a 5 mile race. It's been around since I was in high school or junior high, and it's the 50th year of it this year. So I'm going to run that. Um, I think, and I just do that just to run it. I think that's the only race I've signed up for as of right now. As part of the training plan. Um, how about you? Do you have races scheduled before the half?
thinking about couple, but I haven't signed up for any. One of them,
Okay. All right.
the Boston.
As a coach, do you encourage it or do you discourage it or
Uh, I don't. If there's somebody that really likes to race a lot, I try to get them just to space it out. And racing's actually can be kind of a skill, and it can help you if you go do a couple shorter races. It can help you build up because you're going to push yourself harder in a race. Plus, you get some experience racing if you don't race very much, so you get used to being in the environment, and hopefully that'll take a little bit of the nerves off. So it's somewhere in between. A few well spaced out races leading up to the race. If you time them right, they're a good thing. So there's the Cleveland Rock Hall of Fame half, and I think they have a 10K with it. I'm considering going up for like the 10K and see what happens. Uh, if I feel I'm ready for that, because even like right now, the in Canfield they have the Firecracker 4 miler on the 4th of July, and I'm not. I decided not to race on the 4th of July. I want a little more training time to get myself where I feel a little more confident that I'm going to finish without feeling totally miserable. I did a 1 mile race on Wednesday, run of the mill 1 miler Wednesday evening, and it didn't go well. I know
no?
it's a 1 mile race, so
Yeah.
I gotta at least with the longer stuff. I feel like I'm going to start out pacing myself better, and it was. A few of us complained about how hard it was to breathe, the humidity or something. Or
Yeah.
I said, just did not feel right to me. So, well, on to the
Yep.
next.
Good.
All right. Well, just want to thank you for coming on the podcast and for everything you do to help children and Children's Hospital down in Columbus. And wish you good luck. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be talking to you again before then, but good luck in the marathon.
Yeah.
And well, the
Thanks.
cake jog's coming up pretty soon. So,
Yeah, that's a July race, and yeah, any of your listeners, if you're thinking about running Columbus, I think Bruce and I both would be strong supporters that you should sign up because it's a wonderful race. Um, it's a feel good race. It really is. And I love how Darius says it isn't his race, it's our race. It's everybody that participates. And you feel that. You really do feel that with the families at their tents and the kids with their sponge hands giving high fives. And so, yeah, I think Bruce and I both would highly recommend the race. And if you want to follow along with my journey, I'm on Instagram at Why Run When, 3 words, Why Run When, which is part of the title of my book. And I'm posting little tidbits on there about what I'm doing leading up to the marathon. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me there. And I'm excited. I really am. I'm pumped. So I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about it, Bruce, because it's a passion of mine. It's something I want to do the rest of my life, whether I'm running it, walking it, or volunteering at it. I really want to. I want to continue to do that. And my daughter, who I told you the story about earlier, is in Columbus, so she lives there, and she's in medical sales. So it's the article that the Children's Hospital wrote about me in their monthly magazine and published in that monthly magazine um, focuses on that about how it's full circle. Isn't it funny how a young girl who's 10 days old is now selling medical supplies to the hospitals down there in Columbus? So it was a very touching story. And if you're already a fundraiser for the hospital, you might have already gotten a magazine from them. And it's a wonderful article that just touched my heart because I didn't expect to see it in that magazine. I thought it would show up somewhere else. So anyways, yeah, please support the hospital and support the Columbus Marathon.
well, all right. Thank you. And I'll be following your training. I'll be following everything. And we'll probably be talking again in a few more weeks anyway.
Sure. Yep, we will. Thanks
And
for all the time, Bruce. I
all
really
right.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.